Capricorn, how are you? I hope you're alright. I'm going to pull you some cards. I'm going to have a quick look at your past energy, current energy, and where those energies might be taking you, bearing in mind everyone has free will, you and other people. This is not hard and fast. This is not set in stone. This is mouldable. Okay? It's a general reading. I'm not pulling on any particular area of life. What comes up in the energies is what comes up. It may come through as applying to whatever, romance, career, we will see. To a certain extent, the energies that I speak about, I will kind of keep it quite general, and therefore it is for you to take the energies that I'm speaking about and apply them to your life as you see fit. All right? I'm pulling on collective Capricorn energy. Pulling on collective energy is a trip. It does mean that not every single, it's an 8 of Wands, not every single message necessarily is going to resonate for you, alright? Let me just alter this a bit, my phone's a bit, yeah, not every single message is necessarily going to resonate, okay? It really is a case of tuning in to your own intuition, listening to your reaction to what I'm saying, so that you can take the right messages for you, okay? And allow the cards to help you, you know, examine the concepts around various situations in your life, and aid you in your decision making, not dictate to you your decision making, okay? Hope that makes sense. Let's start. Past energy for Capricorn. So sorry. Capricorn. Yes, we are indeed on Capricorn. The last of the earth signs. I'm going to move on to the air signs. Past energy for Capricorn, please. A Queen of Cups. A 2 of Wands and a reverse Knight of Pentacles. A decision in your past. You want to open your heart towards someone, I believe. I feel that you have a lot of love towards someone here, Capricorn. I don't think they know. Not in this past energy. I think you're deciding whether to tell them or not. It might not be a person, but it's certainly you want to express a certain emotional energy towards someone or something, and I feel like you've been wishing to express it for a long time. For some reason I don't see you actually expressing it in this past energy though. It's just the way that it's come out with this reverse Knight of Wands. This reverse Knight of Pentacles. And also the fact that the 2 of Wands is here, and the 2 of Wands really is never about taking action. It's always about contemplating action. But it'll be interesting to get underneath that more. So just so you know, I'm going to pull 3 cards for each line from this deck to get a broad overview of what's going on. And then we're going to go in with some of my other decks and clarify and get more detail, more depth, and ask some questions that I think hopefully might be useful to you. The Queen of Cups does have so much love to give. I certainly think you have a lot of emotional energy you wish to pour towards a particular situation. You know, it probably is a particular person for most of you. And yet that expression is not actually occurring. I don't know why. Let's look at your current energy, see how this resolves, if at all. Current energy for Capricorn, please. Current energy for Capricorn. A reverse King of Pentacles. A Strength. You are continuing to hold back. And a reverse Moon. You are continuing to hold back to the extent that I almost feel your heart may be closing up. This openness of heart that I felt in your past energy initially, because you are so intent on containing that energy, even though you really seem to want to express it, it's almost like the feelings that I'm sort of visualizing as being here in your heart center. It's almost like you're stuffing them down underneath the moon. It's taking an awful... See, the way the King of Pentacles has come out reversed. I'll show you him upright. He's coming out reversed. I see you continuing to hold back on expression here. It is requiring a lot of strength for you to do this. And yet it seems to be very important to you that you do not express this emotional energy towards whatever. Like I say, to the point, seeing this past energy, I felt you were very aware of this feeling and this energy, and aware of the desire to express it. But in your current energy, there's certain... It's sort of like you're not feeling it anymore, only you are. It's just become buried. It's the best way I can explain it. Okay, future energy for Capricorn, please. Future energy for Capricorn, thank you. Reverse 8 of Cups. A Page of Pentacles. Ah, we see the situation begin to resolve. Because the 8 of Cups is all about asking the question of, do I emotionally invest in this? Now, normally when it's in its upright, we see this figure walking away. This figure generally has chosen to not emotionally invest in whatever. The way I'm reading the reverse energy here, it feels like you have decided to tentatively emotionally invest, and this is absolutely backed up by the Page of Pentacles here, which is that small tentative offering. And then a reverse 2 of Pentacles. It's still surrounded by this. It's still surrounded by a certain amount of indecision, I think, as to how best to express this and how best to sort of work with it once it's expressed. But I do see a small expression in your future energy here. It's like, yeah, it's like these energies, because I sort of see it as a flow of energy from past to current to future. It's almost like this energy here does a bit of a turnaround. Wow. Yeah, a bit of a turnaround. Huh. The idea of maybe this is more of a release of indecision, actually. I'd be interested to get underneath that 2 of Pentacles. There's something I'm missing there, as is often the case. Sorry, I'm absolutely roasting. I get so hot doing these readings. Let's dig. Actually, I'll just see what's on the bottom of the deck. Right, okay. Yeah. Conflict on the bottom of the deck. And underneath that, the 7 of Cups, which is, confusion, indecision. When I read the overall energy of the reading with the centre card and the bottom of the deck card, so on the bottom of the deck here, you've got that 5 of Wands energy. Part of the reason you feel that you have to hold back on the expression of this energy is it's to do with other people. So there's an energy that you want to express your emotions towards, whether that's a person or a thing or whatever, and then somehow surrounding this situation there's other energies that are causing conflict, and it's almost like in order to keep that conflict to a minimum, you have to keep your mouth shut. You see how she's keeping this lion's mouth shut? I feel like it's taking every last bit of willpower that you have to not give in to the urge to express this emotion, Capricorn. But we will see. I'm cold now. Oh gosh. Don't mind me. Right, Queen of Cups then. A certain open-heartedness. It's such a strange energy. It's the heart is open. There is an open-heartedness, but it's like the energy's coming out from the heart and it's sort of getting to about here. That's the best way I can explain it, because it's the heart is not closed off in this past energy, but yet the energy that's coming out of it is not making its way to the intended recipient. It's not. And often that's because the heart is closed, but here it just isn't. I guess what's in the way is all these Five of Wands, all this other energy. It's like, this feels kind of like what's stood in between the energy from your heart getting to the intended recipient. And look, we may be talking about putting emotional energy towards a project or a job. I keep falling back to it being towards another person, sort of for simplicity, but like I say, take the energies as it applies. But I feel like this is what's in between. It's almost like these other energies are sort of absorbing that emotional energy. It may be children. There may be children involved that are sort of getting in the way. It's almost like they're intercepting this energy. I don't know. Which is why I'm supposed to be clarifying, but I'm just chatting instead. Queen of Cups. Tell me more about this Queen of Cups for Capricorn, please. A Nine of Wands. It's a barrier. It's a barrier. You see? It's a barrier to this emotional energy reaching its intended recipient. A Seven of Cups, we've already seen the Seven of Cups, it was underneath the Five of Wands. It's sort of causing quite a lot of confusion. Judgment's there, however. That judgment kind of trumps everything, to me. It's like you know you are going to have to get this energy to its intended recipient eventually. It's like getting that emotional energy to its intended recipient is tied up with your calling, Capricorn. So you just feel so called and drawn to this person, this thing, this job, that your emotional energy is being pulled towards, even though here it's not reaching it. Here it's continuing to not reach it, and it's really you that's holding it back. So if in your past energy the energy is sort of coming from your heart and getting to about here, in your current energy it's like the energy's now just sort of getting to about here. Here, and then possibly just being buried. Yeah. There's something in the way. There's a barrier in the way to this energy getting to this other person. Let me find out more about the nature of that barrier. Tell me more about the nature of this barrier, please. Tell me more about the nature of this barrier. It's going to get there eventually, though. You know, it's almost like you know there's no stopping this energy eventually. You can hold it back, even to the extent that you're burying it. But even in your past energy here, I mean, we do see it resolving and reaching the intended recipient here, but even if this past energy, it's like, it's almost like you just feel it's inevitable that the energy is going to get to that person eventually. Oh my gosh, I've never ever I've never done a reading like this before. It's certainly very interesting. Okay, Nine of Wands. Tell me more about this barrier, please. Tell me what... Sorry, okay. Just a quick switch up on the deck there. My intuition was screaming at me to pick this deck up. Tell me more about the Nine of Wands, please. Tell me more about this barrier of energy, of emotional energy. The Two of Swords. Confusion. Oh, the King of Cups. So we've got the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups out, both upright. I do quite like the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups together, I will be honest. The King of Cups is more restrained than the Queen of Cups. Target. It's target. You see how there's a target in this Two of Swords? Quite unique to this deck, if I'm not mistaken. This is what I mean. You don't trust yourself for the energy to hit the right target. Like I said, there's something in the way of the energy hitting the right target. Oh my goodness. If in the comments you want to let me know what this is all about, do let me know. You don't have to, but I'm quite intrigued. So we were getting onto this Nine of Wands. We were sort of trying to find out more about the barriers. And then we pull this card, which gives us this idea of a target. And I kept going on about this intended recipient for your energy. We can quite clearly see where the barrier is in this card, because she is wearing a blindfold. So that's where your Nine of Wands is. That's where your barrier is. And I feel this is you, Capricorn. So I feel this barrier is quite close to home, quite close to you, but it's not. There's something you can't see. There's something you can't see about this situation that's stopping your energy reaching this intended, who you want it to reach, or what you want it to reach. And then we've got the King of Cups carrying a telescope. Now, isn't that interesting? So I knew there was a reason that I pulled this deck out. My intuition doesn't do this shit for fun. The telescope. The telescope. Why is the telescope there? You can't see far enough ahead. You can't see. They're at a distance from you. They're at a distance from you. They're too far away. How did it take me so long to get to that? Oh my god. I feel like some of you are sat watching screaming, yeah, because they live in America. Oh well, actually a lot of my viewers live in America. I'm in the UK, but right. Literally, you may have no way of speaking to this person privately, or it's very hard for you to speak to this person privately. It's very hard for you to have private time with this person. It might not be that they live far away. Maybe your circumstances or something like this. This would explain the energy. It won't be the exact fit for all of you. Maybe for whatever reason you've had some difficulty with your own housing situation. I don't know, some practical difficulty with your own housing situation, and you've had to move your family into like your parents' house or something. So you're living in an unusual housing situation where you just don't get that private time to speak to one another. So it's like the words you want to give to this person, they almost like they would be overheard. There's just no privacy. I think that's it for some of you. You find it very hard to find privacy with this person. Time, just the two of you, is so hard. Something like that. This could be to do with a unique living situation. This could be to do with distance. It could be a really funny situation like I've had in the past. So once I was going out with someone who worked on a ship. Oh gosh, they could be in prison. Okay, once I was going out with someone who works on a ship, and like all the communication I sent to him, it sort of there was no privacy at all. It was all like the captain of the ship could literally read every email or whatever that I sent to my partner at that time. There was no way we could have privacy in our conversation. Something like that. It's something like that. For some of you, it may be more metaphorical, but yeah, that's the way I'm feeling this whole thing. But you know, eventually, you're going to reach this person. Maybe, like, you know, this housing situation is going to change. Maybe you know they're going to leave their ship. I don't know. It's just the weirdest thing. Like, yeah. For some of you, I very much do get the impression that they're far, far away. Just the way he's got this telescope and, yeah. You can't see them. You can't see them. It could be the conversation you wish to have with them, you need it to be a face-to-face conversation, and you can't have a face-to-face conversation with them because of circumstances. Also, that would actually be a much simpler way of explaining what I'm feeling. It's leaving one or both of you confused. Actually, I would posit a guess that it's leaving both of you confused, because I've seen the Seven of Cups twice, which tells me two people are potentially in that energy. So yeah, I think both of you know that conversation needs to take place, but it's just not possible to have that conversation. But maybe because you want to have it face to face, you want to be able to see that person's face, right? And at the moment, you can't see that person's face for a lot of you. Something like that. Take which bit is right for you, but I think I've done my best to explain that energy. You see, even he's looking into the distance, isn't he? And the way he's carrying this globe sort of brings me to mind of travel, and brings me to the mind that you two are at a distance. And I think for a lot of you that somehow this distance between you, you know, whether it's metaphorical or actual, you know, or this need for privacy that can't be met, there's some sort of delay with the Knight of Pentacles here on achieving the correct circumstances for you to have the conversation that you want to have. Yeah. I don't know if I might just leave it there on your past and crack on and get onto your current energy, to be honest. The delay. All right, let's get onto the Knight of Pentacles and just see... see if we can find out anything about the nature of the delay. Anything else about this Knight of Pentacles? Oh, I'm roasting. The Magician. Okay. I think you're working very hard to try and do something about this delay. Overcome this delay. Are you pulling it off? I don't know. Magician's a funny one. I really very often with the Magician need clarification cards to work out if the action that the Magician's trying to take is successful. Four of Swords. Anything else about this Knight of Pentacles, this energy of delay? A reverse Three of Wands. So no, wait, this, we've gone from the 2 to the 3. There's a little bit of progress. I feel like the magician, the input of the Magician here, who kind of makes shit happen, you know, a manifester, if you like, you know, turns ideas into reality. It's just it's like this Magician here, whether that's you or someone else, is throwing so much energy at this situation, and it's just producing the smallest amount of progress. Like, we've gone from a 2 of Wands to a reverse 3 of Wands. It's not even an upright 3 of Wands. So the feeling of anticipation and waiting in this past energy continues. And the Four of Swords shows someone being in quite a private energy. You know, this is absolutely not the energy of a conversation. So yeah, I'm not surprised to see that, because here I didn't see much resolution here. It's not really till your future that we start seeing a resolution, although these timelines are so fluid and flexible. So, you know, for some of you, you may be here already. For some of you, this, what I'm talking about as your past, may feel more current. Okay, let's get underneath this. Should we go? We'll get under the King of Pentacles. I just see this as a continued holding back. Really. I think it represents a continued holding back, but I wonder if it... I'm starting to feel this is someone else's energy. Someone who may be contributing to the delay. Let me see. Anything else on this reverse Knight of Pentacles, please, for Capricorn? Anything else? A reverse King of Wands. A reverse Knight of Cups. Oh. I feel like you feel let down by someone. I have a bit of a suspicion that this confusion is actually leading to a sense of rejection in someone as well. Because there's that Lion again. There's a holding back of, oh gosh. It's like there's a holding back of truth. But it's not dishonest. It's just a sort of, this is a face-to-face conversation. This is a private face-to-face conversation, and the circumstances dictate that such a conversation is not possible. I wonder if there's a bit of interference from other energies that's making it not possible, because the Five of Wands lends itself to this, and ooh, hello lovers. Could be dealing with a Gemini. Could be dealing with a Leo. Although I don't think they're your main person. I think the energy of the interference could be from a Gemini. And I feel like actually this Leo energy is more yours, Capricorn. You could have quite a lot of Leo in your charts. Just bear with me. Why is this Lover's card here? Why is this Lover's card here, please? Yeah, oh, a choice. A choice. Well, I mean, that was my instinct, but I questioned myself for some reason. The Lover's card used to be called the card of choice, or the choice card. When I clarified it, we got another card that indicates choice, which you happen to have in your future line in reverse. There's interference here. These energies, to me, I don't know if it's just one person that's interfering or multiple people. We've just got a hell of a lot of court cards out, and I just feel there's other people involved in this situation that are contributing to the particular set of circumstances that is not allowing you to have an honest face-to-face private conversation. It's almost like the choice to have that conversation is being denied to you by some sort of outside interference. I feel it as family members for a lot of you. And on top of that, though, I feel like the conversation that you want to take place relates to discussing a particular choice. We've got so many cards we've got so many twos out now. Yeah, and the Lovers. Twos are in numerology represent choice. Look at the red. I'm kind of just blown away by the red in these cards today. Some of you might be feeling quite angry at this outside interference, and yet you're keeping a lid on it. You're very much biting your tongue. One or both of you is very much biting your tongue. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration and anger at the actions of others, which seems to be causing a delay or stopping you talking to one another. Yeah, you're really having to sit on your own hands, as they, like when there's an argument on the internet and you really want to contribute, but you're like, no, I'm going to sit on my hands. Keep my own mouth shut. I'm not 100% sure if I've got quite to the bottom of that lover's energy, to be honest. I mean, we could, this whole, obviously in this situation, there's you, and there seems to be some sort of intended recipient of a certain emotional energy, which, I left quite open for you to, so you can take it as you will, but that particular energy flow could be it could be a lover's bond between you and this person, i.e. a very strong connection. I mean, the king and queen of cups absolutely lends itself to that. I do think the king and queen of cups are beautifully compatible, with regards to that flow of emotional energy, and could represent the energy of a lover's connection. So a lover's connection is, a very deep bond. It feels like you connect on a soul level, but it's a multi-layered bond, so you connect spiritually, sexually, emotionally, intellectually, you have all those layers present in that bond. So this could be what we're talking about for some of you. It could be why the Lover's card has come out. If that doesn't apply to you, then I think it's just saying straight up there's a Gemini who's one of these energies of interference. There's Gemini energy tied up with that. Okay, tell me more about this Strength card for Capricorn, please. Oh, 4 cards, okay. 10 of Wands. Oh, it is just more and more and more feeling like a burden that you need to, this idea of you having to keep your mouth shut and not saying anything. It's more and more feeling like a burden. Because there's a fire and a passion in you that wants to come out and you're having to suppress it. How painful is that? There's a truth that you really want to speak. Oh my God. And you're not being able to. These energies are all underneath this Strength card, and we are talking strength to keep your mouth shut here. And then the Sun in reverse. Yes, it's like you see how like there's this, she's flinging her arms. It's like there's this feeling of freedom and liberation here. It's in reverse. It's underneath this Strength. It's suppressed. You know that when you are allowed to express in the way you want to, because there's this passionate energy, there's this emotional energy, it's being buried at the moment. It's going to be such a relief when you finally get to have the conversation that you want to have with this person. And I don't know what the conversation's really going to pertain to, but I think I'm just a bit worried with this 7 of Cups that someone is, and that reverse Knight of Cups, because I get the impression, Capricorn, that you want to say to somebody that you, even if it's in a small way, a small but solid way, you want to give to a particular situation in a particular way. I wonder what your goal is. We'll see. it feels positive. I feel like your intent, basically, Capricorn, is what I'm trying to say. I feel like your intent is very positive, but I feel like the person or thing that's the sort of counterpart to this situation, the intended recipient, I think they feel really confused and possibly rejected somehow. Gosh, this is so weird. I want to know how this actually makes sense to any of you. Yeah. So all I would say is, I don't know if there's some way you can ease their confusion and feelings of rejection, even though you can't have the conversation that you want, even though you can't speak your truth right now, for whatever reason, you are having to bury it. And I don't even, sometimes I see energies like this being buried, and I'm just like, the person's been a bit of an arsehole, basically. But this isn't that. This isn't that. There's some sort of other interference that's holding you back. I mean, even when I can sort of see that someone's... What do I mean by being an arsehole? I just mean that maybe they're not that emotionally savvy or like emotionally mature. Sometimes you see that sort of burying with that sort of energy. But this doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like all of this is having to be buried because there's no correct avenue to express it somehow at the moment for you, Capricorn. For most of you, it feels like this is because of external circumstance and or external interference. But yeah, it's like it's burning up in you because you're very aware that expressing this energy is the correct thing to do, but you're also very aware that there's no correct avenue to express it. And actually your actions, even though they're burying actions, they sort of feel quite mature, I suppose. It's like you're taking the high ground, actually. Because it sort of feels like you could just let something rip, but you are quite mindful of the consequences of that. And even at detriment to your own self, because this energy, it's love. And when you've got that here and you can't express it, that is so painful. So painful. Yeah, and that's kind of where it is in your current energy, somehow. In your external energy, in your past energy, it was like somehow there was more of a sense of release or relief or something in this past energy, but now it's like the toothpaste has had to go back in the tube. Ouch. All right. Anything else about this moon? I mean, I think it's what we've already spoke about. This sort of having it's quite an active burying of emotion, and it's not done in an unthinking way. It's done in a mindful way. I don't know. Anything else about this moon energy, please? Oh, we've got a nice 3 cards there. That's good. Oh, it's causing you pain. What did I say? It's literally painful. 9 of Pentacles reversed. And a Knight of Swords. Ooh, yeah. And the 9 of Wands again. That, which we had before up here somewhere. Which is that barrier. Oh, I see. This Knight of Swords, it's in reverse as well, but I'll show you upright. See, this can be so rash. Rash communication. It's like, yeah, you are burying that urge for rash communication, but you're just having to keep a lid on it. But sometimes it gets to about here and you just have to stop yourself when it's right here. Something like that. See, 9 of Pentacles is a kind of independent energy. I feel like you're almost Some of you, the environment in, you're very much having to keep yourself to yourself. You can't be yourself. You can't express yourself. I don't know. It feels so repressed and painful. But it also sort of feels right. But that judgment, you know there will come a time when you can. So I suppose if this is resonating with you, because it's coming, it's the time when you are going to be able to express is coming. For some of you, this may be a situation where in the past one of you has walked away, because this can be a breakup card. I mean, I talk about it in terms of not emotionally investing, but you know, you can sometimes look at this card and straight up it's like, well, breakup. Yeah. There may have been a breakup in the past, and there's a lot of confusion surrounding it. And this in reverse tells me that whoever walked away wants to turn back round, and this could be part of what you want to express for a lot of you. That you wish to, where previously you didn't want to emotionally invest, or them, you've decided that decision was incorrect, and you do want to give to this situation. Somebody definitely wants to give to a situation, albeit tentatively. It'll be interesting to see if there's any potential for this to grow. You know, a Page of Pentacles is not massively convincing, but it's better than a Page of Cups to me. It's solid, more solid. So where was I going with this? Why did I start going down this vein? I don't know. Oh, Nine of Pentacles, independent energy. Yeah. So you could walk from the 8 to the 9 into independence. Somebody might have decided that they can find their independence alongside emotionally investing. It's not either or. It could be that. There's something around issues around independence here that are tied in with this expression of feeling, but actually it could very much as well, like we've said, she says as she picks up the Ten of Pentacles, relate to the home space, is what I was going to say. And then the Ten of Pentacles comes out. You can't make it up. With the Strength card again as well. You know, Nine of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, yes, very much can relate to the home space, the home environment. So it's like there's no room for your own independence within this environment. It feels like quite an oppressive environment for some of you. So that goes back to the example I gave you in the beginning around you maybe being forced to live under your parents' roof because of some sort of, you know, difficult housing situation, like, you know, like whatever, maybe you got evicted or something like that, and you were forced to move in with your parents, something like that. Or that's quite a specific example, but hopefully you can take from it what is similar in your life. It just feels like an oppressive living situation where you're not free to be yourself for whatever reason, and it's painful, emotionally painful. Right, let's get underneath this Eight of Cups. What a curious reading. Probably, you know, it probably resonates with about one person. I don't know. It's so curious. Eight of Cups. Tell me more about this Eight of Cups in Capricorn's future, please. Okay. The Hanged Man. The Nine of Cups. That's progress, I guess. Oh, look, I've got the King of Cups again. That's that emotional expression. So the Hangman has come out in reverse, so I read this here as sort of coming out of a delay, you know, which we saw here. The Knight of Pentacles, there was a delay. coming out of a stuck situation. And this energy is stuck, isn't it? We spoke about this energy. This energy of communication appears to be getting stuck here. This energy of love even appears to be getting buried and going backwards. This feels like a release of all that. Okay? The emotional energy is flowing again. The communication is flowing again. Some sort of resolution here to the blocked flow of energy. This 9 of Wands barrier that we've seen several times appears to be falling away. This blindfold appears to be being removed. This telescope, well, I feel there's not even any need for this telescope anymore because this distance has been reduced. Something like that. Empress. You see, the Empress turns up when someone holds a position of great significance in your life. I think this is an energy of someone telling someone, and I actually think it's you telling someone, Capricorn, but reverse energies as it applies. This is someone saying to someone else, you are really important to me. I want to put my cups towards you. The 8 and 9 of Cups, they're both in reverse. It's new energy. It's emerging energy with the reversal here. Or, yeah. If there's been a break in this relationship, say it's a relationship, whatever it is, if there's been a break, I do believe this person is deciding to turn around. You see, because often when they're upright, we often say, oh, this person is leaving this 8 of Cups behind, this sort of shattered situation, this unsalvageable situation, to pursue their own independent 9 of Cups. But both of these cards came out in reverse, so I literally feel like this person has turned around. It's almost like, you know what? I don't want to pursue this independent 9 of Cups. I want to turn back round and I want to share my cups with you. I want to share my love with you. I want to share my emotional energy with you. I want to emotionally invest in whatever this is. A person, a project, a thing, I don't know. And it's all coming out down here, and I'm coming back to this Judgment card yet again. You know, whether this other energy is a person or a thing, I think it's you, Capricorn, are very called to them, very drawn to them. They are of great importance in your life. A figure of great importance. I don't know. Some of you could be patching up a relationship with your mother, literally, with this Empress. I don't know. If you don't wish to get pregnant, please take precautions with that Empress out. And also, I will say the 9 of Cups is even having that feeling for me today, because there's just this abundance. And I will say, she looks a bit like the Empress in that 9 of Cups card as well. Page of Pentacles. Someone has got something to tentatively offer. I think we should have a look underneath this energy and see how solid it is, because it is very tentative with the page. But if this is like a beginning, a new beginning, then of going in with something bigger than a Page of Pentacles might be unwise. It's just, I would like to see if there is the potential for it to grow. But like I say, none of this is set in stone. This is mouldable, this future energy in particular. Obviously this has probably already happened for most of you. Oops. King of Wands and Emperor I'm seeing. Let's see how much substance this Page of Pentacles has. A reverse 6 of Wands. Again, that's turning that boat around. You see the 6 of Wands is when we've decided to move away from something, the idea being to move on to calmer waters. It's in reverse. I think this is, for a lot of you, this is someone going back on a previous decision. Eight of Cups, Six of Swords. How else can I see it? Someone going back on a previous decision to walk away from something and sort of turning around and tentatively beginning to again offer to that situation. Yeah. The two that Two of Pentacles is unnerving me a bit. We will see. This card in the Six of Swords in this particular deck as well also speaks to sort of healing past wounds. I'm not even talking about healing the wound of the break that may or may not have happened here. It goes further back than that, especially with the Page of Pentacles out. We're talking about one or both of you. I think for this page to grow, I feel like one or both of you needs to examine, or I hate telling people what to do. It might be worth you just taking a look at kind of patterns of behaviour that stem from the way you were brought up, possible childhood traumas, that sort of thing is what I'm getting at. Because so much of what happens to us in childhood paves the way for how we behave as adults, and it all happens subconsciously. But if we can make the subconscious conscious, and we can understand and unlock some of our own patterns, and I feel that's what needs to take place here in order for this Page of Pentacles to grow. But let me get something else. Anything else on this Page of Pentacles? I'm seeing this more as advice for, because I think it's you, Capricorn, who's offering this, and I think you would like it to be able to grow and would like it to turn into something solid and long lasting. So I'm sort of trying to pull cards to that end, if that makes sense. Anything else about this Page of Pentacles? Lots of cards. A reverse Strength. Well, that's quite funny, really, isn't it? The way I read reversals is a bit funny sometimes, because, in your current energy, we've got this lion being shushed, which is kind of you, sitting on your own hands, biting your own tongue. And then it's like, it's almost like, oh gosh, I don't know. I think you need, because you've been sitting on this energy for so long, I sort of feel a certain amount of caution needs to be employed when you are coming out of this energy of shushing yourself. Because there's just a possibility when you unleash it, you might be quite wild about the way you unleash it. The way this has come out underneath that, it's pointing us back to this, isn't it? And it's just drawing our attention to bringing this energy to an end. And how do you bring this energy to an end? And how do you communicate after a period of forced non-communication, which is what this whole thing looks like. The World. Oh, look at that. You've got the Eight of Cups again, in reverse again, and the World in reverse. See, the World is a card of an ending. And when it's in reverse, I'm telling you, it's an ending that someone's trying to backtrack on or undo or reverse for a lot of you. Yeah. There is a certain balance here with how the offer is made, how this pentacle is presented almost. And I think you are being called to understand your own childhood traumas. I think someone's going to have a lot of questions, and I can just hear someone saying, yeah, you owe me an explanation. You really owe me an explanation for this. So I don't really know what that pertains to, because a lot of this feels very circumstantial to me. Very difficult circumstances that you or two of you are working up against. But, obviously if someone did make the decision to just say, no, I'm not doing this anymore, and then they're going back on that, which incidentally, asking for a second chance is one of the meanings of judgment, then Yes, you do owe, someone does owe someone an explanation. Do feel like it's you, Capricorn. So, part of that explanation, I think, is going to be understanding your own behaviour and why you did that and how that relates to your own childhood traumas. Excuse me with my sniffles. Yeah, I've got too many cards here now of like leaving something behind in reverse that yeah. I mean, I wasn't ignoring it anyway, was I? This idea of someone coming back after an ending, it's definitely there. Two of Pentacles in reverse. I'm a bit worried about this energy because it just seems a bit vague. Yeah, it seems a bit vague. And I think for this person, no, for this situation, because there's a desire on someone's part to reconcile somehow, I think. And I think for that to be achieved, I think someone has set the bar quite high, which they should do, I believe. I think that feels right, and I just wonder if with this Two of Pentacles energy of wavering on the part of the person who is trying to meet that bar, I don't know if it's quite enough. Oh, what a funny reading. We've had so many weird little threads. I hope it makes sense to you. Tell me more about this Two of Pentacles for Capricorn in reverse, please. This Two of Pentacles in reverse. It's that Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so down this line, you can see up here we had the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which felt like a delay. The delays come to an end, yes. Extra confirmation. We kind of knew that anyway with the Hanged Man, didn't we? How does it relate to this Two of Pentacles, though? Right. I feel like, because it just feels so wishy-washy and indecisive, and I wonder, Judgment again on the bottom of the deck, but in reverse. You see, this is what I mean, asking for a second chance, but in reverse it's not such a convincing energy. There's every possibility in this future line that this delay should come to an end. This environment that is not conducive to a private, face-to-face conversation, this environment can be got out of somehow. There's every possibility that that should be able to happen, but I'm feeling this Two of Pentacles energy is a barrier to that happening. Just the way we're jumping from reverse to upright, but to me what feels in between is this wishy-washy indecisiveness. So I think it feels to me like there's going to be quite a specific opportunity in order to get out of this energy, this particular environment that's causing problems, or to do something about this interference. Whatever it is for you, it's going to be different for all of you. Whatever your Nine of Wands is, whatever the barrier to having the correct communication, whatever you deem the correct communication to be, it is going to be slightly different for all of you. Whatever that barrier is, it's like there's going to be an opportunity to overcome that barrier, and I really feel, Capricorn, that when you see that opportunity, you have to grab it. Let me just get another card. You have to grab it, because if you're wishy-washy, there's just a sense here that you might... There may be an opportunity presented to you to really improve this situation so that this correct communication can take place. But if you're not careful, your indecision might mean you miss the opportunity. All right, so look out for that opportunity. Page of Swords. communication. There's something about very direct communication being necessary. Yes, that's it. So this wishy-washiness that I was speaking about that could prevent you from making the most of a good opportunity to relieve you from this environment or be able to have this face-to-face conversation. The wishy-washiness relates to how you communicate. I mean, reverse energies as applies, but I'm just going to say you, Capricorn. How you communicate your ideas to someone who I think wants to work with you to do something about this oppressive 9 of Wands situation. Justice. Yeah, you see? I'm going to go one more. Oh, it may be communication with someone who can sort of pull the administrative or legal strings. There's some sort of issue here being highlighted around dealing with maybe government people or admin people or legal people. You're being encouraged to make sure your communication with those sorts of people is very clear and direct. So random. 5 of Cups. Because otherwise you will regret. There's a sense of regret here. There's a sense of potential regret over not communicating clearly. So yeah. But also the way all this ties in, I sort of do feel like these 2 pages go together as well, and it is talking about this initial communication that's going to start a process of potentially reversing this 8 of Cups energy, which we talked about. 5 of Cups is an apology. Okay. You're being asked, if you owe someone an apology, Capricorn, you're being asked to think very carefully about the specifics of that apology, and what that apology should contain, and what you did wrong, and how you should communicate that, and how you should communicate your intention going forward with regards to not making that same fuck up again that you've just apologised for. You owe me an explanation. You owe me an explanation. This is what the other person thinks. You owe me an explanation, and I feel that you do, Capricorn. Sorry to say. You know, I don't think reverse energies as it applies. How many times have I said that? Someone wasn't treating someone fairly. Someone owes someone an apology. Someone has got very high standards for how that apology should be made, and I'm with them. Yes. This person should not be let back in unless this apology is of the correct standard. And that means explaining what work you have done on yourself such that the mistake will not be repeated. And, by the way, it also includes giving having an understanding of how your behaviour has affected the other person, and understanding their feelings and properly listening and hearing their feelings without defensiveness, by the way. Yes, all of that. Bottom of the deck though, 10 of Cups. I do think the possibility of emotionally harmonising is present. Is I think that energy is absolutely available to you. It might take some work to get to it. It might. So, you know, if you don't feel able to put that work in, Capricorn, then So be it. But this Ten of Cups energy is available to you, and in this context I am reading it as emotionally harmonising with what? With someone you walked away from. It's there again. Reverse all of this as it applies. I don't know. Showed up again. You couldn't make it up. I was thinking the other day, like, if I sat here and tried to script these readings, what would I do? I'm just like, such a silly idea. I don't know why I was thinking that. Oh, why am I saying that? Because you are... Oh. Maybe you're... I'm not saying you should script your apology, but actually it's not a bad idea to be very mindful of the points that you want to include. And it's not a bad idea to use writing to clarify that for yourself. I don't think it is. But we did earlier identify that this needs to be a face-to-face conversation, and I do agree. So no matter what delay that's causing, then yes, it does need to be a face-to-face conversation. I'm going to leave it there, Capricorn. I hope that made sense. Thanks for tuning in and all that. I do love having you here. I do love pulling cards for you. I could go for another few hours, to be honest, but I better not. Subscribe if you haven't already. It'll help me pick up on your energy for next time. Like the video if you liked it. It helps all the algorithms and all that jazz. And yeah, do let me know in the comments how and if this resonated for you. All right? And I'll see you in another 2 weeks for a kind of lengthy reading, and in between that at some point I'll probably bust out an all signs reading, which means Capricorn will get 5 to 10 minutes of random cards. Well, it might not be random, I might do something specific, who knows. Yes, I'll see you next time. Thanks, Capricorn. Bye.